Zenless is getting to a point where it's about to get pretty rough to be pulling on these banners for the next few patches. We are continuously getting really good characters to release back to back on these upcoming banners, so we have to be very mindful about who we are going to be aiming for in the upcoming future. It's almost going to be impossible to get every character in the game if you're not willing, and especially if you are really a true free-to-play player. Thinking about who to pull is something I have to do as well, just like you guys, because I can't afford to grab every character that releases. I'm only truly a light spinner, so I always have to keep in mind which ones do I truly want. And when it came down to 1.1, I decided that I was going to skip Qingyi for Jane Doe. Now Qingyi is an amazing stun unit in the game and is definitely a character that will provide you a lot of value to your account if you're pulling for her. But when looking at mine specifically, I believe Jane will be a more valuable unit for my account in the long run. You may be wondering, how will an anomaly unit be more valuable than a stun unit? Well, don't worry, because in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I believe it's very much worth skipping Qingyi for Jane Doe. First things first, we're going to talk about the big meta shift that's about to happen in Zenless. If you guys watched my previous video talking about the future of ZZZ's meta, you know that I mentioned that the game will be changing pretty drastically once Jane's Doe banner officially starts at 1.2 releases. This is because all the new units releasing in the next 3 banners are dedicated to the anomaly and defense class, which tells us that the devs want players to shift their focus to building teams around these units. That's very exciting because we'll finally be able to expand beyond the traditional stun, attack, and support teams that we've been building for the past month now, and developing new ones, allowing us to focus on a lot more variety than we've previously ever had before. Since Jane Doe is our first unit coming up and she is a physical anomaly unit, she'll be the one leading the charge with this new meta shift, and she already has some pretty good team options to start off with to formulate while we wait for the future units coming within 1.2. The main team I'm excited to play once she releases is the dual DPS comp with anomaly attack support or even double anomaly and support. These teams will be dealing large amounts of damage, and because of the recent fix to disorder in 1.1, this comp will be able to build days pretty effectively when using different attributes. If we specifically look at Jane and her kit, she's going to be taking this new meta by storm with being able to make her assault damage crit and being able to build up anomaly potentially 60% faster than any units in the game. She also has amazing movement and a synergy with the current units that we have and future units we're going to be getting in the game. This is ultimately why for me it was very easy to skip Qingyi and prepare for Jane Doe. I also believe that a lot of this new content coming out with these banners will be dedicated to us using comps including anomaly and defense units, so that could mean we're going to be experiencing more enemies that don't have a days meter, or needing an extra unit that provides additional support like defense, or potentially fighting new enemies that requires anomaly building and distorted to be triggered for massive damage. This isn't anything cemented or anything I've seen for this upcoming updates and content. These are just ideas I have based on things we've already seen in the current endgame of ZZZ, as well as other patterns that HoYo have shown in their other games. Also, it's very much clear that we know that HoYo loves to dedicate the new content within their patches around the new units releasing, so we can definitely expect something like this to happen for Zenless. I also believe that Jane Doe is just an overall better character to invest into in comparison to Qingyi. Like I've stated before, Qingyi is a very good unit and provides value for your account, but I don't think that value is that substantial where you couldn't get away with just playing Anbi for a couple more patches, especially if you have her fully built at M6 at this point. Anbi is a unit that works great on almost any team she's on and plays the stunner role so effectively that even with her additional ability not being activated, she still performs amazing because it doesn't hinder how well she builds days. Now some of you may be thinking, what, so isn't Piper the same exact situation with Jane Doe where we could just skip her and just fully focus on building Piper? To that question, I say no. If you will really sit down and compare Jane and Piper's kit, you will easily see that Jane is clearly built to completely make Piper's anomaly buildup and damage look childish. We can't say the same for Qingyi and Anbi because testers have discovered that Anbi still builds days just as well and even better than Qingyi, but what edges Qingyi is the additional damage she does, making her overall team clear still better than Anbi's. With Piper, her anomaly buildup is great for an A rank unit, but versus Jane is not as fast. She doesn't get the added bonus of being able to crit her assault damage, nor does she has the team flexibility like Jane to truly be able to compete with her. Piper at this point has also not even been featured on any limited banners in Zenless yet. In order for her to really compete with Jane, you need to have her at M6, which I'm sure a lot of players just currently don't have. Piper is a good unit and definitely a worthy unit to invest into. It's just that Jane overall is just designed to be just better. She just does everything that Piper can do, but she's a lot better at it because of her movement capabilities and her overall kit rewarding her, resulting into increased DPS and anomaly buildup. Even when directly comparing Jane and Qingyi, I think anomaly units as a whole are a bit more valuable because they are a class that allows them to function like attackers and stun units now, and playing them both really well. It honestly makes me wonder if stunners will be a necessity in the future of Zenless with how strong anomaly units are currently looking. Speaking of which, also unlike Qingyi, Jane doesn't have to replace Piper either. Running both of them in a comp like Piper Jane Lucy or Jane Seth Piper will still be really effective as well, because double anomaly is a pretty strong team while double stunner is just very pointless. Overall, investing into Jane just provides you a unit that has really strong future investment. She's so strong at the role that she plays, and she will effectively work with a lot of upcoming units in the future as well as current units here. So it looks like Jane will just be a unit that will be a part of the meta for a very long time. And lastly, the reason that you should pull for Jane though is because her banner overall holds a lot more value than Qingyi's. If we compare both banners, Qingyi banner features Billy and Korn, who are both physical attack units and is considered to be pretty weak in the current version of Zenless Zone Zero. These units also aren't viewed as viable partners for Qingyi, so receiving copies of these characters at the moment is kind of a waste for most accounts. This is pretty rough for Qingyi because that means the only reason to pull on her banner is for her alone, resulting in very minimal value for anyone's account. With Jane Doe's banner, it will feature Ambi and Seth Doe, and this is probably the highest rewarding banner we've received for the game so far. Both Ambi and Seth are highly sought after characters for most players, and like I mentioned before, Ambi is amazing at the stun roll even compared to Qingyi, so being able to get her possibly M6 will be super beneficial for players, especially if you're skipping Qingyi. Seth will be our new defense unit coming into the game, and like I mentioned in my last video, he's going to be shaking the meta up with his strength as a defense unit to use quick assist while providing shields for his team that increases a unit anomaly proficiency. He's going to be a part of the characters that will be dominating in this upcoming meta shift, essentially making Jane Doe's overall banner value extremely worth it for everyone playing. It's honestly kind of crazy when looking at these two banners how they actually made Qingyi's banner so bad. I even think all of the banners that we had previously before Qingyi's is a much better than hers, to the point that this is probably the worst banner that we've had so far. It really sucks for the people that do want to pull for Qingyi and also want to dump value into other units within the game, because more than likely or not, a lot of you guys really don't care about upgrading Billy or Korn. There's much better characters coming with Jane Doe that you're better off saving pulls for her banner so that you can maximize the value of your overall account. But that's overall the main reason why I'm skipping Qingyi for Jane Doe, and why I believe it's a much smarter decision for me personally, as well as some of you guys if you need a better understanding of why that is. Again, Qingyi is a really strong unit, and if you guys picked her up or want to pick her up, you are not making a bad decision. She is a really good character, and especially if you like how she plays and overall the flexibility that she does provide with other characters in the game, you aren't missing out. But if you really have to make a decision and are kind of hesitant on pulling Qingyi or going for Jane Doe, then if you guys want my honest opinion, the overall value of Jane Doe's banner is much more worth it in comparison to Qingyi, so I would definitely dedicate my currency and even a little bit of money into pulling on Jane's banner. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully a lot of this information was very valuable for you guys, and that you're enjoying the overall content on the channel. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been providing me so much, and overall I just want to thank you guys because I've been loving making content for Zenless. Always remember to believe in you that believes in yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video.